So it's recently come to my attention that Karmelo's little team is trying to get this clip removed from the internet. So I figured I would go ahead and play the clip again here for you all. And if need be, I'll play this clip 1,000 times all the way up until trial. Because they may be able to silence some people, but they can't silence everyone. And they damn sure ain't gonna silence me. Let's go ahead and roll the clip and then I'll be right back.
One girl that we spoke with knew Anthony pretty well, that she says, and told us this.
I'm in shock because it's like, I wouldn't expect that from him. I only know him fighting and stuff, like, you know, but to take someone's life is just like a different level.
Now, chances are you've already seen that clip because I played it here first a couple of weeks ago. But they're trying to make it go away because what you just saw is the first and last interview that they did with any kid that went to Austin or Karmelo's school. That was the first and last interview. After they rolled that on the local news, I don't know what happened, but someone came in and shut everything down. Even the local journalist stopped following up with their leads on the story. They stopped doing their job. They basically stopped covering the story. They stopped trying to do interviews with anyone, which is wild. Because unfortunately, here in America, we see kids lose their lives in school all the time because of tragic, crazy events. And I cover a lot of those events. And we always see tons, dozens, upon dozens of interviews with teachers, students, parents, you name it. Hell, some people here in America have made entire careers out of the fact that they were at a school when something crazy happened. Like David Hogg. He's trying to be like the head of the Democratic Party now because he was interviewed after a situation that happened at school. So it's really weird to me that in all these other cases, we get hundreds of interviews. They talk to everyone they can. The media shoves a microphone and a camera in everyone's face, despite their age, despite how horrific the situation is. But in this situation, they did one single 10-second interview that did not go how they wanted it. A little too much information was revealed about Karmelo being known for fighting, and then they just shut everything down. And here's the scary part. I keep having people reach out to me claiming that they live in this area and that people are basically being silenced. They're scared to talk for multiple reasons. One of the reasons being is people are scared of what Karmelo supporters might do to them. And if you look at what they've been doing to Austin's dad, I think part of that is to send a message to everyone else. To, hey, hush up. Don't say anything or else you'll get the same treatment. So there are people who live in the area, supposedly, from what I've been told, that have information about this case, some of which were even there, and they don't want to say anything because they're scared. And like I said, the reason why they've been so consistent in harassing Austin's dad, I think there's multiple reasons behind it. For one, they want him to do something stupid. They want him to act out so they can play victim. But for two, I really think they're sending a message to other people like, hey, if you don't want if you don't want the treatment that Austin's dad is getting, then you better shut your mouth. But look, I'm not the only one that's hearing things like this, folks. I got a clip that I want to play for you all because it turns out that a lot of people are starting to hear things like this. But before I roll this clip, if you guys appreciate the work that I'm doing over here, if you appreciate the videos, I know a lot of YouTubers out here aren't willing to say the things that I say. And because of that, this platform does not treat me very well. And if you've been subscribed here for a while, you already know that. But if you would like to support the channel, you can do so via Cash App or Super Thanks. It's always greatly appreciated since this platform does not really support people like me. But you could also support the channel for free by liking the videos, sharing the videos on social media. It's very important. Let's get the word out there because these weirdos are sharing crazy lies nonstop We need someone out here sharing the truth. So share the videos, drop a comment. Don't be afraid to let us know your opinions and join the conversation below. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and roll this clip, and then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
If you're wondering where all the videos are of the people who knew Austin Metcalf and why aren't they speaking out, where were the people that were there underneath the tent as well? I've been wondering the same thing. We live in Texas. We used to live in Garland, which is close to Frisco. We have family and friends, and we know some kids that go to the school. So I reached out to them and I said, hey, what's going on? And what I was told is that anyone who was there that day on the track team or was there that day, and even people that weren't there but knew Austin Metcalf, are being threatened. That's why you're not seeing them. They have not signed NDAs. They have not been threatened by their school or anything. But it is outside forces that are making threats that if they come forward, that they will get the street justice. So if you're wondering about why we haven't seen any videos from that perspective, now you know.
So yeah, folks, this is basically what the word on the streets is, right? You're not going to be able to Google and find an official article from the mainstream media saying, yeah, the people in Frisco are being silenced. But that's what the word on the streets is. That's what people are saying because people talk. And look, a lot of the teachers at both high schools, they're scared because they may lose their job if they speak out. And the kids are scared to speak out. And even that girl that revealed a little bit of truth about Karmelo, boy, oh boy, the internet went crazy and wild on her. Okay? And after seeing the treatment that she got, I would assume that a lot of parents probably told their kids to keep their mouth shut because that little girl got more hate than Karmelo is getting for stabbing Austin. They called her every slur under the book. They were threatening her, you name it. And now it seems like there's an effort to kind of memory hole, right? They want to memory hole these things like they never happened. And that's why I keep saying it's important for me to kind of keep a documentation of what's going on here. Because let's say something stupid happens, something crazy happens. You know, the mainstream media is going to pretend like all of this stuff that we've been talking about here on this channel, they're going to pretend like none of this happened. They're going to pretend like none of this is going on. They're already pretending like this little interview doesn't exist. They're already pretending like they didn't already tell us that Karmelo was suspended for a knife. They're already pretending like they didn't already tell us that Karmelo was in a fight at school on February 4th, okay? These are details that they're already pretending just never got released, but they did very early on. So I think it's very important for me and others to keep a documentation of what's going on here so they can't act like none of this stuff ever happened. Because that is exactly what they're going to do. And mainstream audiences that only follow with the mainstream media, they're not going to have any idea of all of this wild and crazy stuff that's been going on the side. But damn, there's a lot of stuff. I just put out a video earlier that literally on Carmelo Anthony's fundraiser donation page, we have people now openly discussing the fact that they are starting a militia, a pro-Carmelo Anthony militia in Dallas, Texas, and they plan on doing something. I don't know. So there's a lot of stuff going on that the mainstream media refuses to report on. And if and when, God forbid, I hope it doesn't, but if something crazy happens because of this case, they're going to act like all of this stuff that we talked about just doesn't exist. So I'm going to keep pointing this stuff out every opportunity I have. They're not going to sit here and memory hole these details that came out early on like they're trying to do. And if they think for 1 second that we can't notice that there's an active effort to silence everyone, that the media themselves are refusing to do their job, the job that they do with any other situation like this one. Oh, you just got that 1 10-second interview, found out that Karmelo be fighting at school, and then you just shut the whole shit down. The whole kit and caboodle, they shut everything down. No more interviews. Oh, we're not going to talk to none of Austin's friends. We're not going to talk to none of Karmelo's friends. We're not going to talk to the teammates. We're not going to talk to the classmates anymore. We're not going to talk to the teachers. We're not talking to anyone. The media decided, hey, we're just going to stop doing our job. And I'm guessing because they wanted to paint a different narrative, okay? And it didn't work out for them. But also, I think there's forces at play here that are silencing people as well. Like, yeah, I think they're scared of Karmelo's supporters, but I think law enforcement is putting pressure on people in this situation too. They're putting pressure on people that they usually don't put on people in other cases. So, I mean, if you don't have to be someone who has covered a case like me, but if you're even someone at home that watches other people cover these cases, if you're someone at home that's ever watched the news, you guys know how the news is. They put the camera and the microphone in everyone's face and they say stupid stuff. It happens after every tragedy. Except here, they interviewed one little girl. She said, oh, Karmelo was known for fighting. And then boom, all right, we're not talking to anyone else. They're afraid of what they may find out about Karmelo. That's the facts. That's all it is. They're afraid that people are going to tell the truth about Karmelo and how he had knives at school and how he would be fighting and all of those other things. So it's crazy seeing how this is all playing out, that we are weeks into the story and no one wants to say anything, right? Everyone has a camera phone. Everyone has a story to tell in 2025 except for when it comes to the Austin Metcalf story. Everyone's got a cell phone rolling. They're automatically live streaming to Instagram. They're uploading clips to Snapchat, TikTok. They're on Facebook. They're on X. Everyone wants to tell their story about how things went down for some attention, except for the Austin Metcalf case. It's just all non-existent. No one wants to say anything. And some people are pretending like this isn't odd. It's really freaking strange to me. And it gets even stranger as the days go by. The longer we go by without any footage or firsthand accounts, it just gets weirder and weirder. So I'm really wondering what is behind the silence. Because yeah, I'm sure some people are intimidated and some people are scared. But there's got to be some other pressure being applied here that we may not know about. So I'm going to keep looking into that. And I want you guys to let me know what you think about this. If you live in the area or around the area, or you know someone that lives in the area, have you been hearing about these things too? Because this is something like, you know, I kind of got to take people's word for it. And I take what people say with a grain of salt. I can't confirm for a fact that this is happening. But I can confirm that there are no interviews. And there are all of these people saying they're being silenced. So I guess we'll see. You guys let me know what you think below, though. If you want to support the channel, you can do so via Cash App or Super Thanks. Be sure to like the video, share the video, and subscribe. And I'll talk to you all very soon at the next one.